Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this episode, we'll be watching Bleach, where Bankai can dominate the world. If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to my channel for more videos like this. Today, I'll take you through the story of Bleach. In the late afternoon sun, a ginger-haired youth is in conversation with the soul of a young girl. This young man is the main character, Ichigo Kurosaki. He has the innate ability to see spirits. Later, he returns home to a family of 4, with a father and 2 sisters named Karin and Yuzu. Their mother had passed away 6 years ago. Aside from Ichigo, his 2 sisters also possess a special sensitivity to spirits. As the day ends and the moon rises, the next morning seems typical for Ichigo as he steps out. However, he witnesses a loathsome monster chasing the spirit of the girl he encountered the day before. Both of them, startled, flee hand in hand. Just as the monster is about to strike, a black-haired, black-clothed maiden suddenly appears. With a swift, masterful stroke of her sword in a technique known as crosscut, she effortlessly rends the monster into 4 parts and departs without a backward glance. Night fell, and Ichigo tossed and turned in his bed, the image of the black-haired girl filling his mind. At that moment, the girl suddenly appeared in his home. Overwhelmed by the sight of the person he had been thinking about, Ichigo immediately approached her. The girl, surprised that Ichigo can see her, reveals she is a spirit entity. Introducing herself as Rukia Kuchiki, a soul reaper from the Soul Society. She performs a kido to bind Ichigo and uses her zanpakuto to purify a soul in the room. She explains the existence of 2 types of souls: ordinary holes and malevolent spirits known as hollows. People generally can't see soul reapers or hollows. Soul reapers perform soul burials to ferry holes to the Soul Society and eradicate hollows. Suddenly, a hollow invades Ichigo's home, kidnapping his sister. Ichigo breaks free from the kido to pursue. Rukia discovers the hollow desires Ichigo's potent spiritual power. To protect others, Ichigo confronts the hollow alone, but struggles. Rukia gets bitten while trying to save Ichigo. In a critical moment, following Rukia's guidance, Ichigo impales himself with his zanpakuto, radiating a blinding light. Ichigo wields a massive zanpakuto and transforms into a soul reaper. Swiftly defeating the monster and granting him Soul Reaper powers. The following day, Ichigo heads to school alone and encounters his classmates, Orihime Inoue, Yasutora Sado, and Uryu Ishida. Surprisingly, he finds Rukia in the classroom. It turns out that due to Ichigo absorbing Rukia's Soul Reaper powers the previous night, she cannot return to the Soul Society. Instead, she stays in Ichigo's Gigai, a temporary artificial body, to recover in the human world. Rukia entrusts her Soul Reaper duties to Ichigo, initially met with his reluctance. However, Rukia forcefully separates his soul and shows him the havoc caused by hollows in the human realm. In that moment, Ichigo finally comprehends the significance of the Soul Reaper's role and the responsibility on his shoulders. He wields his blade, obliterates the hollow, and performs a soul burial for a boy's spirit. They rescue Orihime and Chad from the hollow's clutches, revealing the hollow as Orihime's deceased brother, Sora. All hollows were once regular spirits, corrupted by attachments to the mortal world and the influence of malevolent spirits, transforming into hollows. Ichigo engages in a battle with Sora, but clearly struggles. Seeing Ichigo endangered, Orihime selflessly shields him. Eventually, with Orihime's tearful plea, her brother Sora repents, breaking free from the hollow's control. His soul finds redemption with the aid of the Zanpakuto, departing for the Soul Society. The next day, Rukia uses an object to alter everyone's memory about the prior day's events. Ichigo finally resolves to accept the role of a substitute Soul Reaper. They encounter Sado and a boy whose soul has transformed into a parrot. Sado, a gentle giant, once saved Ichigo from a group of delinquents without retaliating against them. Ichigo and Rukia discover that the parrot, owned by Sado, has been haunted by a hollow. the very one responsible for the boy's mother's death. To locate the hidden hollow, Ichigo employs a Soul Reaper technique called Soul Chain, typically exclusive to higher-ranking Soul Reapers. During their search, Ichigo encounters his younger sister, Karin. She empathizes with the boy's soul as they both lost their mother's care. Ichigo realizes his sister's yearning for their mother after her passing. As a child, Karin took on household responsibilities, while the younger Karin never shed tears, filling the void left by their mother's absence. Determined to save the boy's soul, Ichigo recognizes the attachment both he and his sisters have to their late mother. Meanwhile, Rukia and Sado confront the hollow first. Although Sado cannot see the hollow, he possesses remarkable intuition and physical strength. Ultimately, Ichigo joins the fight, and the trio defeats the hollow, sending it to Hell's Gate. The hollow was a former murderer, and Zanpakuto purifies sins in the afterlife. Ichigo then guides the lonely soul of the boy to the Soul Society, where he reunites with his mother. The following day, Rukia visits the Urahara shop, a connection between the Soul Society and the living world, managed by Urahara Kisuke. Rukia intends to purchase Gikon, pills that enable Ichigo's soul to perform Soul Reaper duties, while a surrogate puppet soul manages his daily life. However, a mix-up occurs when Tatsuki mistakenly identifies a capsule containing the modified soul pill as the Gikon. The modified soul was a product of unethical experiments in the Soul Society, and the project was terminated due to its inhumane nature. However, this soul-modified soul escaped destruction and found its way into Urahara's shop. Learning about the origins of the modified soul, Ichigo empathizes with its fate of being at the mercy of others. Despite its slightly flirtatious nature, the soul is inherently kind-hearted. Ichigo and the modified soul join forces to defeat a hollow and rescue 3 elementary school students. Meanwhile, Urahara discovers them and intends to retrieve and destroy the modified soul. At Rukia's request, Urahara refrains from doing so. Subsequently, Ichigo implanted it into a discarded doll in the junkyard and named it Kon. On June 16th, the eve of Ichigo's mother's memorial, rain pours heavily outside. Orihime worries about Ichigo, contemplating if she could, as rain, connect someone's heart, much like linking the sky and earth. She senses Ichigo's grief. Meanwhile, Ichigo replays the tragic memory of his mother's demise. The following day, the family visits the mountain to pay respects. Rukia follows. In the Soul Society, learning of Rukia's prolonged stay in the living world, they send a Soul Reaper to arrest her, a severe offense in their realm. Simultaneously, Ichigo's sisters, Karin and Yuzu, come under attack by a hollow. Ichigo arrives in time to save them. He identifies the hollow as his deceased mother's spirit. When Ichigo was 9, he tried to save a soul about to jump into a river, but his fall prevented him. This incident led to his mother's tragic fate, causing him much guilt. Discovering the truth, that the hollow killed his mother, fuels Ichigo's rage. Despite his efforts, he's overpowered by the vengeful hollow. Posing a threat to his sisters. The Soul Reaper, attempting to apprehend Rukia, sacrifices himself to shield Ichigo's family. Severely wounded, he emphasizes a Soul Reaper's duty to protect humanity and vanquish evil spirits before collapsing. Ichigo faces the hollow alone, which assumes his mother's form. However, a sudden surge of blinding light causes an explosion. His mother's spirit, due to overwhelming emotions, manifests into a physical form, reuniting with her son after years of separation, tears flowing freely. Encouraged by this, Ichigo surged with astonishing strength, severely injuring the opponent. However, the adversary was wounded, but not killed, flying into the sky and successfully escaping. Subsequently, the Shinigami who was capturing Rukia returned to the Soul Society, and Ichigo, along with his father, mourned the passing of his mother.
なんで俺のこと誰も責めないんだよ。
なんでお前を責めんのよ。マサキが死んだのは誰のせいでもねえよ。そして忘れんなよ。おめえはその俺が惚れた女が命がけで守った男だ。
Time flows like water, the sun rises as usual. Ichigo diligently continues his work as a substitute soul reaper and assists the comical spirit medium, Don Kanonji, in resolving a dogwater malevolent spirit. Thanks for watching. More content coming soon. Don't forget to subscribe for updates. See you next time.